Yellow guys. So, what is going on in Mexico? I watched a few Instagram reels. That there's a lot of protests going on in Mexico. I checked in YouTube. I couldn't find that many videos. I don't know why, but I can see a lot of videos here on X. Let's watch one by one.
City, more than 100 police officers were injured in these violent clashes outside of the National Palace. The unrest follows the assassination of a mayor who had criticized Sheinbaum's approach to fighting drug cartels. Demonstrators, many of them Gen Z, accused the president of ignoring cartel violence and rejecting U.S. help to combat it. Leonardo Falcon and Ignacio Gonzalez are here. They have a podcast called the Leo and Nacho podcast in Mexico, and we've had them on many times on Fox Noticias. I'll start with you, Leo. Why don't you just explain to the American people what is happening at this moment, because Mexico is in full revolt right now.
Yes, ma'am. First of all, good morning to the United States and good morning to you, Rachel. And what Mexico is currently facing is a national awakening. What we're looking at, what you're probably looking at in the screens, is a protest of the Gen Z movement in Mexico, where there are no parties that they are leading this. It's
Gen Z, they're probably the they protest like no one else. Like think about what happened in Bangladesh. I mean, in Sri Lanka, in Nepal, and now Mexico. So like protests. I think Gen Z, they love to protest.
the youth, it's the Mexican people. It's not about the left, it's not about the right. It's about the Mexican people wanting the best for the country. And we're all together in this protest. We're all together for a better country. And we see it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. We saw more than 100,000 people during the
Wow, 100,000 is a lot. Wow.
streets of Mexico. And it was pretty impressive from our part to see it for the first time. And we were actually there.
That with that kind of number, corruption cannot exist, right? Like they literally be scared. Like imagine knowing that anytime 100,000 people can gang up on you. That that is crazy. I don't think if everybody in the world, start doing this, there won't be any corruption in the world.
So we're very happy of the people that showed up in the country and that they are pushing for a change.
Nacho, why are the Mexican people so angry at Claudia Sheinbaum, your president?
Well, in a country which you have 60 murders and 40 missing people a day, every single day, of course they are shocked. Of course they are shocked.
Yeah.
We, the youth, are really desperate because we don't see the light. The generations see the teenagers after this horrific situation. We decide to protest.
Yes.
Not with a flag of any political party, no, because they are killing us.
Yes.
That's the reality.
Okay, so what do you believe that Claudia Sheinbaum is complicit in this? We've had senators on here, Senator Lily Tejas,
I'm not sure who this Claudia Sheinbaum is.
who bravely said Mexico is indeed a narco state, and she said that Claudia Sheinbaum and her Morena party, the political party she belongs to, is in business with the cartels. Is that true in your opinion, Leo?
Well, when we look at what Nacho just mentioned, when we look at 60 murders, 40 missing people every single day, the narco state of Mexico makes it pretty obvious that there's some things going.
That is crazy. 40 people missing every single day. Wow.
Going on behind the curtains in the Mexican government.
Yeah.
This is sad. But what we look at here in the protest is that there's actually a noticing. There's actually a noticing of all of the Mexican youth, of all of the Mexican families, that they are saying, how can this be happening? And when you have such a big amount of the population mad, upset at what's happening in the country, something is going on. And that's when you have a protest like the one we had yesterday.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
15 million people on the planet is in full revolt right now in Mexico, in CDMX, also known as Mexico City. This city is literally in a full revolt. It followed Nepal and Italy with the one-piece flag and the ideology
There were protests in Italy as well?
behind the people standing up to a corrupt government. In Mexico, it appears that the government is in cahoots with the cartel, and the citizens are sick and tired of it because they have a system like ours where they have fake Democrats and fake Republicans that pretend to be at odds with each other, and all the while, all they do is behind closed doors, they take everything and more and more and more and more and more from the tax dollars that come in. Sounds very familiar, doesn't it? Well, that's what's happening right here in America. The third largest city on the planet, folks, with over 18 million people in it, is teaching the world how to revolt and exactly what to say and how to do it peacefully.
Is it the third largest city on the planet? Mexico City? Let's chat GPT. Oh. It's ranked 7th. Oh, Delhi is number 2. Wow. Okay. So, I mean, it's still one of the largest cities on the planet. Well, let's watch another.
Thousands of people have taken to the streets protesting government corruption and also demanding justice for the killing of Carlos Manso, a mayor of Uruapan. This is a small municipality in western Mexico. He was killed in broad daylight during a Day of the Dead celebration on November 1st. And protesters started in the main monument in Mexico City, and then they walked along this main avenue toward the National Palace. What we've seen here is all the anger of young people frustrated about the conditions of the country.
Si no nos levantamos y en verdad alzamos la voz y nos quejamos por las cosas que en realidad se están haciendo mal, nunca va a cambiar esto.
Queremos libertad, seguridad, paz, un futuro para el país.
The government has dismissed this protest, saying or arguing that behind it are far-right groups. This is the first Gen Z.
How can you dismiss 100,000 people protesting? What? Dismiss? So here's another person who says paid protest by a lot of people from Mexico. 100,000 people? You think they can pay that many people? What kind of stupid viewpoint is that?
Demanding change and an end to crime and corruption.
La movilización fue contra la inseguridad y la corrupción, inspirada en otras protestas de...
These so-called Gen Z demonstrators called for more enforcement to prevent organized crime and alleged government corruption.
like some mayor got assassinated, and that's what has triggered this protest.
Next, I'm going to welcome in Jose Luis Granados Ceja, journalist in Mexico City. Here we go. Jose, thanks so much for joining us. I had mentioned at the top of the show, you guys have been covering the protests this weekend down in Mexico City, and the coverage up here in the United States has been look at Gen Z, look at the youth. They're angry at the cartels. They're angry at corruption. They're angry at cost of living.
Well, if 40 people disappear every day, I mean, anybody would be.
And they're rising up against the
equally mad, isn't it?
Tyranny of Claudia Sheinbaum. So you went there yourself. I did want to put up one funny image that did circulate and kind of cut through this a little bit, and then I want to get your reaction here. Here is one of the funniest images I've ever seen from a protest. There's the One Piece symbol, which you saw in South Korea. Some recent protests kind of become a symbol of like Gen Z resistance. I can't tell if right.
So it says former Mexican President Vincent Fox during the recent Gen Z protests appeared wearing a straw hat pirate t-shirt. I'm not sure what's the significance of that.
This Vicente Fox here thinks people won't recognize him in his shades and hat if he dons a one piece hat.
He's claiming that's not him. He's saying that's not him, but it sure does look like him. That's his claim. I'll give him.
Okay, fine. Whoever that is, he's not doing a very good Gen Z impersonation. So in any event, what did you see when you went to these protests, and how did they compare to like other kind of protests that you've seen against other governments?
Yeah, in your lead up, I think you hit the nail on the head. Very much their intention was to transmit this message that Mexico, like other countries here in Latin America that are experiencing a profound political process of change, obviously with the election of López Obrador in 2018, kind of the first left-wing government in Mexico in a very long time, arguably since the 30s. And then, he very much was putting himself forward as a transformational candidate. Things have, really changed here in Mexico, and the opposition has struggled to try to respond to that. They haven't really ever kind of found footing in this new political reality in Mexico. And I think the election results of 2024 also speak to that Claudia Sheinbaum not only builds on López Obrador's legacy, but actually expands his coalition, wins by an even larger margin, just an overwhelming landslide win. And so what we've seen from the opposition are these attempts to try to kind of latch on to other issues because their own brand, for lack of a better word, just has no currency anymore. They're very much discredited, the parties of the old regime here in Mexico. And we saw it around election mobilizations, around the Electoral Authority, the INE, but we also saw it with this most recent demonstration.
Oh, and this other thing happened. So Miss Universe has Miss Mexico has been crowned as Miss Universe, I believe. Fatima Bosch, that's the new Miss Universe now. So this happened like Friday. Live streamed on Facebook. Oh, okay. All right. So protests against Mexican president and party Morena was millions of people all over all states of Mexico. Wow. Mexican president is doing her own march. Okay. So this is not just in Mexico City, like look at this. That's a lot of people. Even the need for support, if we truly want a peaceful Mexico, we need to unite real and authentic voices, spreading the message that Mexico and the world need to hear with strength and clarity. We are not seeking figures. We are seeking impact. We don't want personal applause. We want to awaken consciences. If you're here for cause and not for the credit, welcome. The space is yours. It's ours. It's for everyone who understands that true power lies in the collective message, not in the name that appears at the top. Mexico needs us united, not divided by labels. The world is watching. Let's make it see what's right. Wow. So this one says, President was crowned weeks after she left a paged event in protest. She walked out of one of its events in protest. Was crowned. Okay, started with the competition officially began in early November ceremony. The IMA personality was the point was a page. The director stood in front of a room of contestants, microphone in hand, and berated Bosch for not participating in some of its promotional activities. Stood up and tried to respond. Scott Hoshi walked out of the room, followed by several other contestants, including. Okay. You have problems. Okay. So that's So I'm not a big fan of the president of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum, but the process in Mexico is orchestrated by the CIA in an attempt to change the government, just like they did Syria, Libya, Iraq, and Lebanon. The deep state is the cancer of they don't liberate nations. They infect them with tyranny, steal the natural resources, pump fake money into a freshly installed puppet, charge interest on it, and shackle the entire country to a system of debt, manipulation, and eternal submission. Because that's what's happening in Mexico? Still don't understand the big picture. Read the caption. Okay. Okay, I don't know the like if yeah, I'm not sure about that. If any of you guys know, leave a comment. Look at this funny video.
Diputado, si nos puede ayudar. Le pido a todos los... Ya faltan 10 oradores nada más. Les pido por favor a todos respeto a los tribunos.
That's the Trump dance, isn't it? Okay, so they had looks like they've released 32 protest detainees. They detained some protesters, it seems. Obviously, this is like all of this happens when you. So, what does this say? Mexico's oligarchy and right-wing parties took advantage of the recent murder of the outspoken mayor of Michoacan to launch a J6-style anti-democratic protest movement aimed at destabilizing the popular government of Claudia Sheinbaum and the Morena party. Man, 100,000 people, I don't think, like, it looks like a people movement kind of thing. The president of Mexico was the one who coined the term Gen Z protest to undermine the legitimacy of the protest. I see. Okay. So, who is Claudia Sheinbaum and what is the Mexican protest about? Claudia is a scientist by training. The active in student bodies, okay. First elected female mayor, Morena party, which is a leftist progressive political party. First woman, also the first Jewish person. Oh, I saw a post somewhere that yeah, she was the first Jewish person, and Mexico is apparently like 90, about 90% like Christians or Catholics or something. So in some video they mentioned that like the video was kind of anti-Semitic, saying that they're protesting against her for that reason. Not sure if that has any truth to it. Mayor's assassination. The protest was sparked by the murder of Carlos Manzo, the mayor of Uruapan, was killed on November 1 during Day of the Dead. Manzo was known for opposing local criminal cartel violence. Okay. Part of the movement is demanding Sheinbaum's resignation. Okay. Being framed as a Generation Z movement driven by younger people who are disillusioned. Oh no, they are not disillusioned. Gen Z are like anything but disillusioned. Gen Z are doing what we millennials and boomers wished we could do. We could have done. Right-wing opponents are trying to exploit the protest, and some of the movement is being amplified by bots, social media manipulation. Okay. There's a Michoacan plan for peace and justice to increase. Okay. They highlight deep public frustration with crime. Okay. This is on another level, bro. There's people everywhere. On every single street, there's people. That's crazy. Wow. Okay, I think that's enough for today. If anyone is watching from Mexico, please do let me know in the comments what exactly is this about, and I know it's about against the corruption and all of that. But if you know of anything else, any more information about the protests, what's the current status and whatnot, do let me know in the comments.